with compassion, respect, and personal attention. Call Fairhaven Memorial Park today at 2769-571194.
Not many people know, but the best way to protect your investment of a new set of tires is with an alignment. Here at Harbor, we can do that. Did you know at Harbor's Garage and Towing that we are a Michelin dealer, not only just for the Henry County and Martinsville area, but any surrounding counties as well? Come on by, get you a set of Michelins today. Come see us for all your automotive needs at our newest location, 6010 Greensboro Road, Ridgeway, Virginia, or give us a call at 276-632-2580.
Think, well, and our tagline for our business is coffee with craftsmanship, and I think that's kind of it for me, is that it's one of those things where, it's not just throwing stuff in a cup. To me, it's just an exciting thing, and something that, it seems to continually change and evolve as well, always reinventing itself and new things. So I think that's a big part of it, and then just loving the taste of it ourselves, I think helps, that community is a big part for us, is drawing people in, having them sit down, drink, conversations over coffee is a big thing. So we offer all the different types of coffee drinks, from brewed coffee to espresso to macchiatos, lattes, mochas. So right now our hours, we open at 6:45 to 10:30, and then we have a break and open back up at 2:30 to 6. Those hours are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Thursday we are closed, and Saturday currently we're open 9 to 1.
Thanks for staying with us here on Table Talk again. Chad Hall, we're here at beautiful Bassett, but we're not at the country club anymore. We're at Wright's funeral service, and I got one of the Wrights joining me here, and James, talk a little bit about, again, this facility is just kind of getting going well. I hear a lot of people say the cheapest, the most affordable. I hear that a lot,
Absolutely.
But what is going to be the best way for a guy like me or someone watching to come in and say, hey, I want to do my pre-cure needs, or is this the place for me?
Absolutely. So to start, with us just getting started here for the first year or so, we're doing special pricing. If you want to come in, Ruth and my grandmother are here every day. They can talk to you about our special pricing here at our Bassett location. But pre-needs, Ruth is doing about 50% of our pre-needs here, 50% of our Martinsville location, and it's going well. It's going phenomenally. We just transferred over to a new pre-need company. We've had some seminars here as well as in Martinsville for the community, veterans. It's going phenomenal. It's going great, and I'm loving it. I'm loving this new company, and one of the great things about pre-need is let's just use a round number. Let's say you came in today and made a $5,000 pre-need with us. Paid $5,000 a day. In 20 years, if that same service is $10,000, you don't pay a dime more.
Right.
You prepay it. Mm-hmm. You don't pay a dime more unless you want some stress. And it's like you were saying at the beginning in earlier on. It's the family's one of the hardest days of their lives.
Sure. Coming
in and making arrangements. And even if you just come in, you don't want to prepay and you just want to pre-plan, it's a great thing to do, and it eliminates a lot of the hardness of an arrangement conference when the at-need death occurs.
Right.
So the pre-arrangement pre-need is phenomenal. You can pre-arrange, pre-fund it, whatever's easiest for you. I think pre-needs are a phenomenal thing. I think some people are scared to do them because it's planning for their death.
Yeah.
But at the end of
it's always hard to discuss that.
It is. But and you hear people joke all the time, there's two things that are certain: death and taxes.
Death and taxes.
They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere, and it's the smart thing to do. And
right.
That's my opinion. And it's if you're interested in just stopping by and you have pre-arrangements somewhere else and you just want to see what we're about, all pre-needs are transferable. We accept pre-needs from any funeral home regardless. If you have a pre-need at any of the other funeral homes around the area, or even let's say you lived in California for 10 years and you had pre-arrangements there, you can bring your pre-need to us and we will accept it with open arms, put it in our filing cabinet, and we'll keep it safe until the day you pass. It's just, a pre-need gives that little bit more peace of mind to yourself, sure, that your wishes are in order, as well as your family, that they have a little bit less to worry about when the time does come.
this just hit me. Let's let everybody know the address here.
Absolutely.
We're talking about, we think everybody knows where the golf course is. They may not.
Yeah, well, it's 1230, quite easy house number to remember. Oak Level Road. If you're coming from Collinsville in the Cloverleaf down by Bassett Forks, you're coming up the hill towards Stanleytown, right at the top of the hill, take a right on Oak Level, and it's your first right. And you'll see some signs as you're pulling in, a big long driveway. But just come out and say hello. We're my grandmother and Ruth are somebody's always here Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. And if you can't make it during those hours, give us a call. I like I said, I cut my teeth right up the road from here. I still live less than a mile away. I'd be happy to come and just show you what it's all about, even if it's 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 in the morning. Don't matter to me.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about pricing.
Okay.
I'm a hands-on guy. I'm like you. It's hard for me to pay a sheetrock guy to hang sheetrock because I know how to do it.
Absolutely.
But when you get to a certain point in life, you got to move on. What's the easiest? Pay somebody or take 3 or 4 days out of work?
Oh, absolutely.
You got to start juggling that. But a lot of people, let's just say this, sometimes you get what you pay for.
Absolutely.
Everybody's talking about cheap. I don't like the word cheap. I like the word affordable or
and inexpensive.
Inexpensive is a better word.
Absolutely.
Kind of let's talk about that. You might can go out here and buy a $2,500 funeral, but that's exactly what you've got.
Exactly. And our pricing is very competitive. And we tell everybody, if you find a better price than us and you really want to use us, we'll beat it. That's just how we are. And I think we're priced very competitively to our competitors in the Henry County area. But the thing about it is too is when you come to us, you get 100% of our attention. 100%. Our funeral directors are at myself and 4 or 5 of I think we have 6 total directors, including Ruth 7. Ruth is strictly preneed, but we give you our personal phone number, and you can reach us all day, all hours of the day, and that's what we strive for. Everybody at our funeral home, every director, every secretary, our grief coordinator, everybody, we always have our phones on us. If you need us, you call us. And I always tell people, listen, if you call me and I don't answer, I will call you back immediately. One of 2 things. I'm either on the phone with somebody else or I'm in the shower. I'm either in the shower, and more times than not, I will jump out of the shower, answer the phone, and get right back in. It's just, it's our families come first.
Sure.
Our families come first, and a lot of people look at the funeral business as a business, and it's not. It's not a funeral. It is a business at the end of the day, but it's taking care of your community. Mm-hmm. It's taking care of your community. Dad and I are in Kiwanis. We do a lot for the community there. We're a very community-centered family. I love this community. I know some people look at Henry County and they see the drugs, they see the crime rate and all this, that, and the other, but it's a wonderful community. I mean,
but
people
that's
are
everywhere.
Exactly.
We're not that bad.
Yeah, we're not.
We're average. I hate to say we're even average.
Well,
but
and
it's not as bad as everybody thinks.
Absolutely. And it's, I tell people all the time, I lived in Ohio for some years of my life, and one of the things I love about the South, you can walk into a gas station, a corner store, the Dodge store, don't matter. Somebody's gonna hold the door for you.
Yeah, that's true.
Somebody's gonna say, "Hey, thank you, man. How are you doing today?"
Yeah.
Give you a little head nod.
Yeah.
It's you go up north.
They look straight down and don't do anything. Keep walking.
Keep on walking.
Exactly.
And I love the South. I love this community, and it makes me want to give back to the community even more. And in that, take care of families.
I look at this as more of a ministry. I know you're not going to call yourself a pastor or whatever, but this is a very pastoral moment.
Absolutely.
When you got your wife, your husband, or a child, or mom or dad that has passed away. Now you're got to sit over here and be a grievance counselor to speak. No, exactly. I'm not saying you are.
Well, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's a tough time.
I was talking earlier about my dad. It's unbelievable the things he's taught me. And one of the very first things he said, you are going to be looked at in this community as the same as a pastor.
Oh,
he said, if you're out in the community cutting up, acting a fool, driving down the road, and you get a road rage or something, somebody is going to recognize you.
Yep.
And he said, everybody that comes in these doors is family. He said, you're going to be recognized, and you got to take care of people. He said, if you care and you take care of people, he said, everything else comes easy. And it's I hate to say it's simple, but it's when you care, it is.
It makes sense though.
When you truly care in the bottom of your heart for the people that come in your funeral home or even your business, it doesn't even just have to be a funeral home.
Yeah.
The people that come in and sit in front of me or just come in to ask a simple question, if they're treated like family, and you show that you care and you truly care, everything else is simple.
But doesn't that make you feel good though, James, to know you're in your right lane?
Absolutely.
I mean, you're a young man.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're in the right lane, and whatever, you know, I love what you say, that God has really blessed you.
Yes.
Imagine 20, 30 years from now, being in your right lane, continuing building what the good Lord has given you.
Well, I'm telling you, my grandmother Betty Wright, my dad Tony Wright, my uncle Tom Hensley, you know, they're the three owners of the business, and they both have a power with prayer.
Mm-hmm.
My mom always jokes my grandma Betty is going to be taking an escalator to heaven instead of stairs. You know, she's just salt.
Cherry in the fire.
Yeah, I mean, she's salt of the earth.
Right.
She's flat out
Good
salt of the
people,
earth.
they really are.
And I'm beyond blessed to have those people in my life and the prayer warriors I have in my corner. And you know, we talked a little bit earlier about, you know, me wanting love and build my hands, architecture, and I truly believe that God, you know, from his mighty power, as well as the prayer warriors I have in my corner, and my dad, grandma, and Uncle Tom, I think that I think that this was my path. I think that, you know, the train track came in Hawaii, and when I was 14 or 15 years old, when Dad came to me, and I think the conductor in God just switched that train track and said, "This is your path."
Right.
And I'm more blessed than I could ever be.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. But again, if it's not your path, it would have done showed itself by now.
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's very easy to tell that you're very passionate about your business, and you're more concerned about the guy across from the table than you are your paycheck.
Absolutely.
And people can read through that, James. You know that.
Yep.
They can read right through that, and when you can see somebody's really sincere, and I think that leads to a whole lot of the success here at Wrights.
Absolutely.
Is the sincerity of, I got to take care of you now, whether you can afford it or not. I mean, you're now walking into my world, so to speak.
Exactly. And then you just threw you know, the affordability of it. You know, a lot of people don't plan for death.
Nobody.
You know,
I hate to say nobody, but what, 80, 90% don't?
I mean, it's very high. And the thing about it is not a lot of people plan for it. So people, when they come to us, they're not financially ready.
Sure.
And we work with their families. I tell everybody, you know, the first question is, what do I do about money? And I tell all my directors, I tell everybody that speaks to a family, tell them, let the finances be on a back burner right now. Let's take care of you. Let's take care of your loved one, and let's chat a little bit before we even worry about finances. Like I said earlier, it is a business.
Sure.
But let's take care of you. Let's take care of your family. Let's talk a little bit. I understand we did, you know, mama, daddy, brother, sister, son, daughter didn't plan for this.
Yeah.
But let's talk. Let's talk and let's get on the same page, see what we can do about some finances, and we'll go from there. See what your wishes are, what your family's wishes are, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. And that's important. That's very important. Well, look, we've got about a minute left here of the program. Again, I wanted to give you an opportunity just to invite everybody by, give them that phone number, and hopefully they can take care of some pre-needs. Before you get in this situation we're kind of discussing now, it's always great to stay ahead of the wave instead of let it come down on you. And these guys are here ready to work with you, even on the worst day of your life. And I think he would even tell you planning ahead is a way to dodge that.
Absolutely. My name is James Wright. I go by Jimmy. I can be reached at any time. My cell phone number is 276-732-7327. I'm always here. I'm always here. I know that death can be a surprise. It doesn't matter what time of the day it is. My phone always rings. We're here at 1230 Oak Level Road right now. You're more than welcome to come by 8 to 4. If you come by after, just give me a call. I live right up the road. I'd be happy to meet you here, show you around, show you what it's all about. No obligation to do any arrangements, anything. Just stop by and say hello, see what we're all about here at Wright Funeral Service. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you for all your support at BTW, and I want to apologize. You told me to call you Jimmy earlier, but I've been saying James.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. That's what Mom and Daddy called me when I was in trouble. But yeah, please call me
You're
Jimmy.
in no trouble.
We're good, good. We're good. I appreciate you, Chad.
Thank you so much. I want to thank you as well for tuning in. If you've got any questions on this, please give them a call at either the Martinsville or here in Bassett, or call the studio. We'll make sure you get in touch with who you need. Again, Chad Hall. Thanks for tuning in. There's more great local programming coming up next.
It's time for your next step.
Not only will this program prepare you for your job, but it'll prepare you to actually go further than what you think you'll be able to do.
The teachers are passionate. They really want to help you learn, and I'm excited to be able to move forward in my career.
I could not think of anything else I wanted to do.
Contact an advisor today to register for one of the many programs available at Patrick and Henry Community College. Future you will thank you.
When you're a few years, Chad, we go back a little ways, and and when my son was riding down with just riding with the police when he was a kid.
Right.
Did you ride with him some?
Yeah, I think I rode with him a few times. That was back in the early 2000s, 2001 to 2003. When I was new on patrol, he was one of the interns that came and rode along quite a bit.
Oh, he enjoyed you guys, man. He rode a lot of you and all that stuff. But that was a good thing. He did for those young people, man. Teach them things like that. Law enforcement now is a lot different than what back in the day. It's changing. It's changing more every day. And really, if I see one of your officers, I pat him on the back and say, hey, man, I do appreciate the service. Yeah, I don't live in Martinsville, but I'm in Martinsville. I'll appreciate what they do. Any law enforcement, because it's rough.
Yeah,
it's dangerous.
Appreciate it. I mean, it goes in cycles and evolutions. You know, it certainly changed over the years. But if you think, when I first started, we were at the tail end of the crack epidemic.
Oh, yeah.
And law enforcement in this city was very, very different then. You had a lot of open-air drug markets, people standing on the sidewalk and making drug dealers right there in plain sight. And over the years, just drug dealing has evolved, from selling crack on a sidewalk to selling pills behind closed doors in people's houses. People are selling their prescription medication. That has morphed into heroin, it's morphed into fentanyl, and in between you've got things like methamphetamines that people for a while were making in their homes. You could get on YouTube and watch a video how to make meth.
Oh, and a bunch of that going on now?
Yeah. Meth is still around. And primarily we're heroin, cocaine, things like that. The prescription pills are still being sold out there. And just in the last few years, marijuana went from being something, we could arrest somebody if they had just a tiny little trace amount of marijuana. And now it takes over a pound to arrest someone. And now, starting in July, retail cannabis is going to be legal this year. So we're going to have stores, similar to the ABC stores in our community that are selling cannabis, selling marijuana.
Is law enforcement looking forward to that?
Well, I don't know that I don't expect it to be a huge change it's just something we're going to have to adapt to. You know, the marijuana is already in our community, and you know, we're just going to have to adapt to the legal sale of it. We've already adapted to the possession of it, but it's hard to get used to. You know, guys like us, and you know, you go to Walmart, get out of your car, and you walk into the building.
You smell
weed the whole way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I retired from Department of Corrections and back in '99, and had these young guys in there. A lot of them for selling drugs. I say 85% of most of your convicted felons are drug related somewhere or another. That's the way it is. But these young guys, and now I still don't think they should. I think they should have been somewhere schooled or something. So I put them in them hard criminal. They learn more that way, I think. But that was a waste of. When you go to jail, that's the biggest waste of time anybody can ever do. I don't care what it is. You behind them bars. Yeah.
It's something they're trying to evolve to, just like law enforcement. Corrections is trying to evolve to where they spend more time on rehabilitation. They spend more time on training. You know, the county and the city both have got job training for their inmates, where they can teach them a trade. So when they get out, they don't have to fall into a life of crime to support their family.
Well, there's a need for that. Work ethics, they lose them in there, you know. And I'm glad they're doing that. There's a need for that. But just say, don't go to jail.
Right, that's a good solid first
step.
Right.
Don't and you know, all my life I've been a pretty wild child at times, you know. And by the way, we're both Marines. And when I found out you got the chief, I said, well, we got a good chief. He's a Marine. Well, but we always did. But you,
Lee Harvey Oswald. There's a long list of distinguished Marines out there.
But you know,
but we try.
The Marine Corps has a different training, and if anybody, I don't care what you can look at anyway, and everybody knows that too. If you know you're Marine people, they have more or less respect you. I mean, that's a good thing. We do go through a lot of stuff, and we learn a bunch, and we're proud Americans. That's the main thing.
Right.
But I think that with the background in the police and the Marine Corps, it's going to really enhance your job you're doing now, because it's discipline, and that's what it's all about.
I'm really proud of my service. You know, on my resume, on job applications, that goes up there. You know, I always tell people that was the best grad school I could have gone to. I finished up college. I shipped out to the Marines 2 weeks later, and I was at Parris Island. And I learned more in my 4 years of Marines than I did in my entire schooling career.
Parris Island. If anybody goes to Parris Island, you're a changed man. I don't care who you are. When I came out of Parris Island, I thought bullets would bounce off my chest. You were in shape, buddy. I don't care. If you're overweight, you're going to lose weight. If you're skinny, I went in 165. I came out 185. Parris Island.
Yeah, I tell you, you learn. I think maybe the most important thing you learn is that you've got a chain of command in life, and if somebody in the know tells you what to do, you're going to go far in life. If you do it right, do it quickly.
Absolutely.
With a sense of urgency, and you can't go wrong. And the Marine Corps and the military service in general, but I'm a proud Marine.
I can tell that.
But
every Marine's
I'll tell
proud.
you, I never turn in a resume or an application that doesn't have that at the very top. You know, I'm more proud of what I learned there than I learned in any of my schools.
Well, Rob Fincher, I like Rob. He was a good chief. But when he appointed you, I congratulate him. Because I think you've been on the force quite a while too.
Yeah, I came on in June of 2000. So this is my 26th full year.
Well, you know what's going on almost. How many officers do you have?
We're allotted 44 full-time and 1 part-time. Right now we are at 41 full-time. We've got 3 openings, and we've got the part-time, which is Caretha Gravely. She's over at...
she's still...
Yep.
That lady is amazing.
She is amazing. She's, I don't know her exact age. I think it's around 70. But no, she's been a pillar of the community forever.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
she's going to keep... We can't make her quit.
You don't want to.
No, I don't. I can treat her
I
really badly. She wouldn't quit. She's going to be here forever.
Well, I don't think there's no one in Martinsville don't know Caretha. I haven't met Caretha, but she is one loyal lady.
Yeah.
And
we love her.
She knows how to handle a lot of little problems too, and in a good way.
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody talk about Coretha.
Yeah, I've never gotten a complaint on Coretha.
No. But anyway, I just congratulate you for your appointment as chief, and I think that Martinsville is really blessed to have you on there too, Chad.
We appreciate it.
But you know, I say it's crazy out here in the world, and there's a lot of things going on. And I think I was talking to you before we got on air. You and Wayne Davis, Sheriff Davis, worked what you had. You know, probably Dan Smith and Stewart, any law enforcement or state police. I'm glad to hear you busted. So many people are getting busted. These big drug, you know, this meth is killing a lot of our young people.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, drugs and drug distribution, I mean, it's right to target them because they are where a lot of our crime comes from.
Right.
Addiction drives a lot of crime. Getting money to purchase the drugs drives a lot of crime. A lot of our violent crime is between drug dealers. So it's certainly right to target drugs.
Of course.
In particular, you know, the prescription pills that are being dealt, the heroin, the meth, the cocaine. And we talked also about marijuana being legalized. That's something entirely different, but that's the direction politically that the Commonwealth chose to go, so we're going to have to adapt to that.
Well, I have to admit, I smoked 1/2 of marijuana, and that was many, many years. People told me that would do things to you, make you feel good. It put me to sleep. And I never touched another one.
And were you listening to Pink Floyd album?
I don't know what it was. But I was never on drugs. And I thank the Lord for that.
That's good.
I drank a little booze and all that stuff. I don't do that no more. Matter of fact, God changed my life entirely, and that's a good thing. But drugs will ruin anybody. I don't care how little you do them or whatever. And it ruin you.
Everybody has a friend or a family member.
Yeah, I know they do.
Who went through addiction, and we know the damage it can do, and that's why we're so bent on getting it off the streets, getting it out of the community.
Do you have any kind of classes going on for the public that you guys do anything like that?
No, unfortunately we don't. You know, we used to have a DARE officer. That all went away back when the funding for it went away. It's you know, there's so many people out there in the community. You know, Piedmont Community Services, the wellness coalitions. There's a lot of people doing that work out there in the community.
Yeah, they are, and it needs to be done. And I hope people are listening. That's the main thing. And I'm sure that some of the folks that've been there and done that, they're the best spokesman for it, and they can tell you what it does to you. And then I haven't heard one good thing from a drug anybody on drugs.
Yeah, it's always a tragedy.
If you get them, don't take that first step. High school, it's crazy. Some of these kids I've been growing, they're raised different. Chad, you know that a lot of the parents now don't raise their children. They don't pay, and they don't know what way to go. They follow anybody, and that's I got a grandson. I don't think he'll ever touch this stuff.
I hope not.
I know. Well, his dad, he got a good dad, and we're proud of him. And I don't think he will, but a lot of kids not raised that way.
Right.
And you got to start at home. That's where it starts.
Right. 100%.
I think you ought to have classes for the parents. Once they get married, that's when it should be. Hey, you got to go to this meeting. Right? So if you have children, this is on the book. You got to. Yeah, well, I mean, this kind of sounds stupid, but it makes sense.
I mean, it's not the Catholic Church requires that. You have to go through a marital class prior to getting married. I mean, it's out there. Yes.
Well, I didn't know that, but I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, my wife and I went through it back in '99 before we got married.
Oh, really?
It was on our checkoff list, right?
Did it help?
I don't remember it, but I don't know. Maybe it took hold because it's been coming up on 27 years now.
Well, let's take a little break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. We got some good stuff to talk to Chad about, but we'll be right back.
Planning for retirement? Let Beth Hale be your guide. As a retirement advisor with Futurity First Mid-Atlantic Advisors, Beth helps clients in Henry County and Martinsville and beyond prepare for the road ahead with trusted advice on retirement, life insurance, and health coverage. Reach her today at 276-806-4846. Futurity First Retirement. Life. Health. Where your future comes first.
Frustrated by that crack in your windshield? At Daniels Auto Glass, we don't just fix glass. We restore your peace of mind. Our certified technicians use top-grade materials and precision techniques to repair or replace any auto glass damage. Need us to come to you? Our mobile service brings our expertise right to your home or office. Don't let that chip become a crack or that crack become a bigger problem. We are ready to serve you. Daniels Auto Glass, clear views ahead, peace of mind guaranteed.
Looking for your next home? Discover Hill Court Apartments in Collinsville. Choose from spacious 1, 2, or 3 bedroom units, perfect for singles, couples, and families alike. Enjoy community perks like a sparkling pool, a fun-filled playground, and on-site laundry facilities for your convenience. Comfort, affordability, and community, all in one place. Hill Court Apartments. Your next chapter starts here.
This is the best dental practice I have ever been to. When I came to Greensboro Dental Associates, I feel like a real person, not another number. I feel that my time is respected and that my voice is heard, especially regarding decisions about my dental health. Every person I have came in contact with is welcoming, kind, and very skilled. Trust me, this is the place that you want to go to.
Greensboro Dental Associates, proudly serving our community for over 50 years. Give us a call so we can help you achieve your best smile.
Remember when stores had a little bit of everything? At West Franklin Mercantile in Rocky Mount, we still do things the old-fashioned way. From handmade toys and carpet bibs, garden tools and work boots, you'll find something for everyone. We'll even special order just what you need. Visit us at 1380 Franklin Street, open Monday through Friday 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. West Franklin Mercantile, where tradition lives on.
Hey, we're back here with Chief Chad Rhodes with us, but Chad, before we get on our next little conversation, Tony, Jerry's Pizza. You could eat down there.
Mm-hmm. Sure do.
I think that's one of the best Italian restaurants there is. And the DiGiovanni family, they have helped a whole lot of people, and everybody don't know about it. They don't brag about it, but they have helped a bunch of folks that couldn't help themselves, and it is a great family. So look, right now you can go down there, and everybody likes cheesesteaks. They're the best sandwiches. They made the best cheesesteak, and they gave me one to bring up here to show you folks. And this one here is only this is the big one, $9.45. And if you can see that, I don't know if you can or not, it's pretty, but it's a cheesesteak. This has onions, tomato. You can have lettuce, tomato. When I order one, I order less tomato, onion, mayonnaise, and a few jalapeno peppers.
Yeah, I was going to say, get some yellow peppers on there.
Some kind of yellow pepper. But these are on sale every day of the week. You go in at lunchtime and get them, and at dinner time you get them, to take them home with you if you want to. But I'll tell you what, it's one of the best cheesesteaks you're going to find anywhere. And the beef is delicious. He gave me a taste of off the grill today. When they cooked that's fresh beef, but it always delicious. It wasn't just, it didn't taste like water. It tastes like beef. It had that beef flavor. You're going to love these now. You're going to love everything about Jerry's Pizza. I guarantee you. You'd even love Jerry if you meet him. He ain't a bad guy, really. Him and Tony, they're a fantastic family. I love them. They say, I'm one of the families in there too. But if you go down and get to know the folks, you'll be a family member also. They treat everybody like family. But anyway, $9.45 was a good lunch. I guarantee you that will fuel you up. You get chips with it also. And so go down there and tell them Chef Paul said he might put an extra pickle on it or something. Yeah. But that being said, but anyway, we come back again. Chad, our new police chief of Martinsville. You've been on duty now, how long?
As chief officially January 1st, but I was interim and acting chief for most of 2025 because of the turmoil that went on up there. So I'm not entirely new to the job, but I'm official January 1st. So just
20-some years on the Department of Martinsville.
Right, 26. It'll be 27 this year.
You know, I am so proud. You know, one time when they had to put a new chief in, they'd go out and all over and get people coming all over the place to get a job with chief police. I like people. You know what's going on here. You've been with them, and you know the ropes. You know what needs to be done. Why wouldn't we get somebody outside and have to train them?
Right.
I didn't understand that.
Yeah, it's, you know, one time in my career we brought in an outside chief. You know, we brought in Sean Dunn from Portsmouth, I believe it was.
He was a nice guy.
Very nice guy, and you know, he was kind of what the department needed at that time. You know, Chief Rogers, who was a great chief, you know, for a long time. I think he was chief for 15 years.
Yeah.
But when you have the same leadership for 15 years, you know, things get stagnant.
Yeah.
And so an outside chief at that time was kind of what the department needed. It was a little kick in the shorts.
Right.
And you know, we took it, and everything moved forward. And I think we're a better department for those 3 years. It was not easy, but I think the department was stronger for having those 3 years. However, I mean, you're right. You do want somebody for a fully functioning department where things are going well and a relationship strong with the community. It's always good to have a continuity.
Right.
You know, when I leave, I'm going to recommend one of my guys. I've already got a couple in mind that I want to recommend, and I hope it goes to them next.
Well, you know, that's the main, and I like that part. You know who would take care of our city, and do a good job at it. And I just can't understand why somebody can come out from Timbuktu and never been here before, and all of a sudden they got a lot to learn.
Right. You understand the job, but not the community.
Yeah. But I'm glad you got you, Chad. I've been knowing you quite some time, and you've always been an outstanding police officer, officer and a gentleman. That's what the Marine Corps teaches you. And I just can't. Since I'm a Marine too, I just don't think they could find anybody better than a Marine for these kind of jobs. And I'm not cutting the Army in on that, but the Marine Corps goes through a pretty good, strenuous program that get you where you are today, you know. But believe it, that being said, you do have, you had a meeting this morning, right?
Yeah, we had a staff meeting this morning.
You have a staff meeting every morning?
We do it once a month. We do it on the third Wednesday of every month. We call the command staff and all the supervisors together, and we usually go between an hour and 3 hours.
Right, well, I'm sure a lot to be said, what they've learned in 3 weeks, or what's coming up they need to do, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we fix the small things procedurally we need to fix. You know, we address things informally that need addressed. It's just to keep everything moving in the same direction, keep it moving smoothly.
Well, I had the chief that came on that appointed you, Rod. He told me you got these little vehicles now that ride down in the trails. You still doing that?
Yeah, we got those rascals. They don't get them out too much. They certainly didn't want to ride them during the winter.
Really?
I think the last time they had that out was probably at Halloween at Trick or Treat. They had that out and dragged the trailer around. But yeah, it's called the Tour V. It's an electric vehicle, and it's fun to ride.
I bet.
Yeah, it's nice. It's perfect for getting around out on the trail.
But you know, a lot of women that walk in the trails, I'm sure they kind of. I hope, but I never heard any trouble on the trails. But anyway,
it's been a long time.
But it's nice to have. See what once in a while the presence does a law like a police
my
officer.
wife and I walk there all the time, but there are certain sections of that trail she doesn't want to walk by herself.
Well, I wouldn't.
You know,
I can blame her.
She's the police chief's wife.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that sends a message to me that we got to keep the guys out there on the trail, especially the more secluded portions of the trail. You know, the one section down there at the Mulberry Creek end out to Spruce Street, it's absolutely beautiful. That's my favorite part of the trail.
I walked that part.
It's 2 miles down there with nothing. There's no lights. There's no phones. It's so, I mean, if you were going to get into trouble, that'd sure be a nice place to have a police officer. So as it warms up, you're going to see more of us out there.
Well, I would we got you purchased those things, and a lot of people don't know it. I don't think.
Well, we got all that stuff through grant. We, you know, back in I think 2016, we got a grant. We bought a bunch of mountain bikes, which were the old school kind that you remember, where you got to actually pedal the things. Since then, we bought that Tour V, which is the electric vehicle. We've got 4 electronic e-bikes, which are pedal assisted. You pedal them and they make you feel like Lance Armstrong. We've got all those, so yeah, we've got a lot of ways to get out on that trail, and we're going to once it starts getting warmed up here.
Have I seen, you got any police officers on motorcycles?
No, we don't. Now, Steve Draper and his guys, they've got the motorcycle. I don't know if the county's got motorcycles or not.
I don't know either. I think
yeah,
I've seen a motorcycle for somebody over somewhere.
Yeah, we're getting ready to send a guy. Dakota Harmon's getting ready to go to motorcycle school, and a couple of the guys from the city sheriff's office are going to school. So hopefully we'll get them through that certification.
I think summertime that'd be a good job for somebody.
Oh yeah, you won't catch Chad on a motorcycle though.
No.
Yeah.
I sold motorcycle a little while in California, but that was
yeah. I'd sooner wrestle a grizzly bear than wreck a motorcycle. I've seen a lot of people with holes in them from sliding those motorcycles. I'm not going to do it.
Well, hey, you got the common sense. If you don't do it, if you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Well,
I mean, it ain't for you.
That's it.
I mean, motorcycles are not for everybody.
No, the physics don't work out.
No,
we're water balloons with eyes, and when
I
we
like
crash,
4 wheels under me.
Right. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. And my dad, when I started driving, he told me to put an egg under the foot feet.
Yeah,
So
don't crack the egg.
Don't crack an egg, you know. But as I say, and when you go in your training office, you know, I saw this thing you have here on people that we remember. And there's many people who remember this stuff.
Yeah, this is, you showed me this beforehand. This is taught in some form. We teach this to our general instructors, that you remember 10% of what you read, 20% of what you hear, 30% of what you see, 50% of what you hear and see, 80% of what we say, and 90% of what we say and do. And learning is not a spectator sport. That just means that you've got to be an active learner. If you're sitting around reading something, you're not going to remember very much of it. Back in the days, our educational system, it was read the chapter, answer the questions. That's how we learned.
Right.
And at some point, they started bringing out film strips. The thing beeps and you click through the film strip.
Yeah.
Then they had the transparency, so they started showing us more things. And then the film strips had narration. We'd hear it and see it. But until we actually got to a point in our learning careers where we started having to stand up and talk about something and we had to teach it to the class, it didn't feel like you really learned anything. And the same kind of goes with police training. You can sit there and you can read a book on it. You're not going to learn much.
Right.
You can sit there and listen to someone lecture on it for 2 days. You're not going to learn much. But until you start doing it yourself, getting actively involved, until you start teaching it, teaching, I think, is the last step in learning. When you can show somebody how to do something, then I think you've started to master that skill.
Absolutely. But some of this stuff, I think, with law enforcement, especially when you're pulling somebody over, they do something wrong, they got to go to court,
right?
And they want to sue the police department. I mean, you need to really remember what was said, how it was happening, everything. And you got to be. Right then, y'all take notes.
Right.
Because
well, it's we always tell our officers, go back and take notes. We've got body cams. Body cams are mandated. My guys have to have those going all the time. You're not going to remember everything, but you're going to remember by the time you hear it, you see it, you write it down. You write down some other things that aren't going to show up on the body camera because those are important.
Right.
What was going on that's not going to show up on this narrow little cone of body camera. You write all of those down, and then you can go back and watch the body camera and pick up the things you missed. You're going to have a pretty good chunk of it. Where a defendant coming into court, they weren't wearing a body camera. They remember what was in their head. And so much of what went on during that incident is driven by their feelings and their perceptions. It's scary being pulled over by the police.
Yeah.
And when you're scared, your vision, your hearing, everything narrows down and you focus on tiny little things. You don't see the whole picture. So you've got, the police over here who've got video of it, who have written everything down, written notes, and then you've got a person over here who's very emotional. Their testimony about the exact same incident's going to be very different. It's because their perception of it was so different. So, yeah, the way we see and learn and do things, it really comes into play.
I can see why it should.
Right.
And that's why I said some of this stuff right here, I think it'd be very essential that law enforcement, kind of look at that and adhere to it.
Yeah.
You may come in handy someday. They need to be taught a lot of stuff. I mean, you got 4 openings.
We've got 3 right now.
3.
Yeah. Plus, we've got one of our lieutenants is going to retire in July.
I want that
Richard
job.
Barrow. Do you want that one?
No, I don't need no.
I have to send you for mental evaluation.
Oh, I was sure flunk one in a heartbeat.
So, yeah, we've got 3 now. We'll have 4 come July if nobody else leaves.
What is the credentials of someone should to get a job with the police department?
Well, we don't have any requirements as far as education other than a GED or higher is great. If you didn't graduate high school and you've got a GED, in my opinion, you put in more work as an adult. And I feel like anybody can graduate high school, but if you dropped out, went back, and did all the work it requires for a GED, that's every bit as good, if not more, than a high school degree. College is great, and that's going to get you farther. Now, to be promoted in our department, you have to have a college degree. So anybody can get in the door, but we do require them to go back and get a degree to get promoted.
Right. So where would they apply for this job?
Online, if you go to the City of Martinsville's website, in the Human Resources tab, there is an Employment Opportunities tab in there where they could go into, and it'll take you to the website. The application's all online. You fill it out there and you submit it, and it'll get to HR.
Well, I know, parents out there, you got some young folks, ladies and girls or guys that wants a good job, a good paying job, good retirement benefits.
Yes.
All this stuff, medical. If that's what this guy is a special kind of person to do this job. Just anybody is not going to be able to even want to do this job. Yeah. But if you got the inkling that you think you want to do something like this, I think this would be the best man to work for. I think you're really, and I think it's a good profession. And go for it.
Yeah, it's a great profession. And, we don't, you asked about requirements and standards. We do the application, we look at the resume, and what we're looking for there is a consistent work history. Somebody who can, work a job for a long time without quitting it.
Yeah.
Somebody, if they go from job to job, we see a progression there. What we don't want to see on an application is somebody that works at a job for 3 months and then puts in the reason for leaving, poor management.
Yeah.
And then they get another job. 3 months later they leave, reason for leaving, poor management. That's not somebody we're going to take a look at. We want to see somebody that can go to a job, do a job, stay in it, and progress.
Of course.
So, we like to see that work history. We look at that.
Well, Chief Rhodes, yes. I am really proud of you, young man. I really am. You got your head on straight, and I think Martinsville is a lot better off. It's better off having you at the command with your police department. And as I say, matter of fact, I haven't heard much complaint about the police department at all.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Oh, I've been on the phone nonstop with them.
Well, I have. They don't come tell me. That's okay. What it is.
Good.
But I got a ticket where you done something wrong. I mean, if I speed, I'm gonna get a ticket. I'm not. But don't break the law, folks. That's the main thing. Let's keep Martinsville safe. And they're doing a job right now. You're doing. I don't hear a whole lot, but I know some stuff is going on we don't hear about even. But I appreciate you, what you're doing and what you're up against now. And with that being said, folks, we're going to have to close this thing down. And one thing I want to mention before I leave. April 1st, I have a nice lady going to be doing a Zoom show with me here. And that's Donna Fargo. A lot of the young folks don't know her. But a lot of the old fogies, they know her because she has quite a few million songs under her belt. The happiest girl in the whole USA. Pretty fat. Well, I got a bunch of them, but she's into writing now. But you'll be wanting to tune in for that. And one other thing, on April the 10th, if you like pancakes, I'm doing a pancake breakfast at Horse Pasture Fire Department. I guarantee you the best pancakes you ever eat with my homemade maple syrup. But come out and join us right there from 6 in the morning to 10 in the morning. All you can eat, $10. And If you don't like them, come see me. I'll pay for them. How's that?
We'll be
Thank
there.
you, Chad. Appreciate
All right,
you
thank you.
coming, your partner,
Yes,
and
sir.
I hope we get you on some more time during the year, and that you see what's going on out there.
All right, we'll do. Appreciate it.
And okay, folks, don't forget. I hope God continue blessing you as much as He has me, and if He does, I guarantee you're very well blessed. See you later.